All right, everybody. So I'm going to go over pages 58 to 63 with you. You will be having a reading check on pages 51 through 63. So if you want to review, you can go back to the previous video. So 58 to 63 doesn't have a whole lot that happens in it. However, it's probably one of the most important things that happens in the story. Okay. So we have Lenny and George and Candy are left in the bunkhouse. Remember, Candy's dog has just been shot. He's very, very sad, and he's laying in the bed. And George and Lenny are starting to talk. And Lenny wants to hear about the place with the rabbits again, right? He wants to hear about where they're going to go live. And George lets us in on a little bit more here. And he says he knows a place that he can get cheap, right? It's 10 acres. It's got a little windmill, a little shack, a chicken run, a kitchen, an orchard, cherries, apples. Got all this stuff. They got a pig pen. And Lenny, of course, is really looking forward to these rabbits. This is their American dream. This is what they want for their life, okay? So he says, we're going to build a few hutches for the rabbits. And Lenny's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And they're getting a little excited. And they're like, we can have pigs. And when we kill a pig, we can smoke the bacon and the hams. We make sausage. We can catch salmon in the river. We can eat them for breakfast. We can smoke the salmon and save it for later. We can get the fruit off of the trees. We can can it. We could kill a chicken or a rabbit. We can have ourselves a nice meal every Sunday. And it's just, they're really getting into this dream. This is what they want. This is what living off the fat of the land is, right? Living off the fat of the land means eating all the things that you grow, that you raise. And that's what they're talking about doing here. And as they're talking, old Candy sort of rolls over and starts listening to the conversation a little bit, right? They're still talking. We got all the vegetables. We could get a little whiskey if we wanted to, right? We sell some eggs. We can get some stuff for ourselves. And they're just getting more and more excited over it. And Lenny is considerably excited about taking care of these rabbits. And if you listened to the audio, you could hear the man getting his voice all excited, right? Here they're even talking about the work, right? We'll work maybe 6-7 hours a day. We wouldn't have to barley 11 hours a day. And, they could take a break when they wanted to. They could have their friends come over if they wanted to. They'll have extra room in their home. If somebody comes over that they don't like, they can tell them to leave. If one of their friends shows up and they want them to spend the night, they can let them spend the night in the extra room, right? Really, really excited. Candy starts to speak. They have forgotten that Candy is in the room. And he says, you know a place like that? I mean, this sounds so appealing to Candy. Why is it so appealing to Candy? He's going to let us know. You read about it. He says, I'm not much good with only one hand. I lost my hand right here on this ranch. That's why they gave me the job swamping. So he didn't show up with one arm and they give him a job. They let him stay on because he lost his hand at this job. Okay? But he's not going to be here too much longer. They gave him a job swamping, which just means sweeping things out. They gave him $250 and he gets a couple bucks every month, right? So he's been saving up his money. And George and Lenny want to get this house. All of this sounds really, really good. And George's like, all right, well, I could get that house for $600. Look at that. $600. And how much does Candy already have? Well, he has $250 plus another $50 that's coming. So he's got half the money already. He's like, suppose I went in with you guys. Suppose I went in with you guys and I could cook and I could tend the chickens. How would that be? I'll do the garden some. Yeah, I got to think about it. But it just seems too good to be true because they figure out that Lenny and George work for a month, don't spend anything. They could have $100 to add in. George thinks he could swing it. Like, we could get this place at $450 and then you guys go on and get started. I can make up the rest of the money real quick. We'd have it. They're so amazed. They're looking at each other, and they never really believed this dream was going to come true. But here it is. It can actually happen. They have a plan, right? They have a plan. This dream of theirs might work. And Candy even promises, he's like, listen, here's another reason why, this continuing with his reason why he wants to get in on this ranch so bad. He's like, you see what they did to my dog tonight, right? He says he wasn't any good to himself or nobody else. When they can me here, I wish somebody would shoot me, but they won't do nothing like that. I won't have no place to go. I can't get no more jobs. So Candy is worried about his future. They're not going to keep him on forever at this place, right? Because he's really not doing anything major that they can't just get the regular guys to do. So he's worried about what's going to happen to him. And, you know, when the dog was no use to anybody, they shot it. Well, they're not going to shoot a person when he's no good to anybody anymore. And so when they can him, when they fire him, he's going to have nowhere to go. So he really wants to get in on this deal with them. So they decide they're going to do this in 1 month. In 1 month, they're going to have enough money to put a down payment on that little house, and they are going to have their dream. They're going to have their American dream. They're going to live off out of the land. They're going to have their own place. And right now, they're going to keep their mouths quiet. Don't tell nobody about it. Just us three, nobody else. They're going to keep their mouths shut. And they're all sitting around grinning. And Lenny is saying to himself, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Again, another secret Lenny's got to keep, right? They're very excited. So we're excited for them because their dream might finally come true.